And the time has come, once again, for all of you to shut up and sit down. After last night's confusion, I can confirm officially that King Sam has relinquished the WIW Championship. And in exchange, me and Sam will face off at Insomnia. After we went off the air last night, me and Sam agreed on some few minor terms. We agreed that he is no longer a member of the Mayhem roster, and I will no longer be attending Fight Night shows, except for the next one where we will be agreeing terms on our match. And I know what you're all thinking, that I'm not a wrestler, that King Sam will kick my ass, and that I'm just going to embarrass myself at my own show. And you simpletons would assume that that's to be true, but I want to show you something. This is what happens the last time me and Sam stepped in the ring. That's right, I won. And that was the last time that we faced off one-on-one. Until now. For as long as 2 years, I have been building up a stable company. WIW may have failed, but WIW did not. But there has been one thing slowing down the progress of everything and everyone in this company, and that is King Sam. He takes up all the airtime by interrupting me and causing me problems that if I didn't have to deal with, if I didn't have to worry about, I would be making this show a worldwide success. So when Insomnia comes along, I will remove Sam as a threat. And everybody will learn what I have been saying all year long. King Sam doesn't run this company. I do. And as for the WIW Championship, now that King Sam has relinquished the title, tonight we will begin a 16-man tournament to crown a new WIW champion, with the finals happening that, of course, Insomnia. It may not be ideal, but at least we will have some indication of who will be leading Mayhem coming into Season 2. Next season's going to have some major changes, and I'm looking for a new face of Mayhem to use this tournament to show themselves to me and to all of Mayhem and become the new WIW champion. As Blake, don't be silly, man. You don't need to find a new face of Mayhem, because he's standing right here. I have 4 title reigns to my name as world champion, and I will happily continue to build my legacy at Insomnia as a 5-time WIW champion. So I'm assuming, since I have a rematch clause, that I will instantly be in the finals. And I just wanted to let you know, Blake, that you will shut up and sit down. That's what you're gonna do. You were given one task by me, one task. Keep Sam away from the title. And still, after 3 attempts, you couldn't stop him without my help. I thought you were the face of this brand, Albright, but I guess I was wrong. So no, you will not be using your rematch clause. You will compete in the tournament like everybody else. In fact, let's get things started. Let's get your opponent out here and let's start the tournament right now. Well, here we go. I guess we're kicking things off tonight with the first match of the WIW Championship Tournament. And look who his opponent is. The general manager has not taken things easy for the 4-time WIW champion. It is the all-hot Allen Hart stepping up for this first round matchup against the former world champion Aaron Albright, who of course lost his championship just last night and then comes on to the show tonight to find out, of course, that he will have to be getting his title back or earning his rematch back at Insomnia by competing in a 16-man tournament for his title. The title that he has held 4 times, the title he's held for the majority of the year. It's hard to remember right now a time where he wasn't at least in contention for it. But tonight, Allen Hart has a chance to knock him out the title picture completely. What a shock that would be to start off Monday Night Mayhem and to start the final couple of weeks to Insomnia. Remember, we've got for Mayhem, I think, 6 shows now and 2 Insomnia. So Aaron Albright has got to make a quick impact here in this tournament. No surprise, he just runs straight at the all-hot Allen Hart in pure frustration. Of course, been building up for weeks. Him versus King Sam. And now look at this. Oh no, it's not one of these. He's ready to put this one away. And Aaron Albright makes his intentions perfectly clear. He is going back to Insomnia. Good night, Allen Hart. Super kick. Aaron Albright advances. And just like that, the first match of the night comes to an end. And Allen Hart really has fallen from grace. He's had such a great couple of months. But in the end, no match for Aaron Albright. And the 4-time WIW champion is looking to make it 5 at Insomnia. He's got past the first round in a matter of seconds. I barely even had time to sit down and enjoy it before Aaron Albright walks out with the win. An embarrassing defeat for the All-Heart Allen Hart, and another huge victory for Aaron Albright. Will he find his way back to Insomnia and crown himself the first ever 5-time world champion? We'll have to find out then, but it is time to move on down the rest of the card. Next up tonight, some action from the women's division, and it's, I guess, a coronation match more than anything else for who is now the 2-time women's champion for the first time in WIW's history. She's the first ever person to do it twice here on the red and black brand. It is Sandra Piper, who's not coming out with the championship, funny enough. Interesting stuff there. Sandra Piper is coming out without her championship tonight, and I guess making a statement, because remember, of course, we already know who her Insomnia opponent is. Her Insomnia opponent will be Hallie Bowen. She'll be facing him one-on-one once again, and the general manager says he will have stuff to say about that match in the upcoming weeks, but he has made it clear that he wants to see something from the rest of the Mayhem women's division. He wants someone, anyone, to prove that they are ready to compete with these two women, and that it shouldn't just be these two at Insomnia. Remembering, of course, Viola, the Royal Rumble winner, chose to stay on her own brand. She'll be competing against Laura Stables come the pay-per-view. And so Sandra Piper tonight looking for a challenge. Will she find one in a former trial era women's champion in Tiffany Abbott, who has been, to be honest, really, really poor so far to restart her career here in WIW. In WYW, she was truly incredible, but clearly she hasn't been able to translate that into success here in World Internet Wrestling, and it's just been unfortunate for her, and she just hasn't been able to do it. But we know she's able to step up to the heights. But if she wants to make it to the first ever Insomnia, she has to prove it, and start proving it now here tonight against the 2-time Mayhem Women's Champion Sandra Piper. Well, Piper, as always, is ready. Has been on a reign of tyranny. I can't think of any woman who has had a better season #1 than Sandra Piper. She has been truly inspirational this first year. A 2-time Mayhem Women's Champion. Longest reigning Women's Champion out of, I believe, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure out of any of the women's title. She also went into the Royal Rumble and had the tied most eliminations with 4. Which is just a truly incredible thing to think about. The only female competitor in that match, and she managed to walk away with the tied most eliminations. And the other person she tied with was Dicson, of all people. And it says a lot, really, about the year that Sandra Piper's had. She's been untouchable in her own division. And right now, back with the championship around her waist and already knowing who she's facing at Insomnia, as she knows she's going to be stepping into the ring with one last time with Hallie Bowen. And these two have only had one one-on-one matchup, and it was last night at the pay-per-view where Sandra Piper was able to walk away to winner. Looking for an Exploder Suplex. Very well countered there by Catherine Albright, who's off to a great start in this match. There's a suplex. And now into the cover goes Tiffany Abbott. She couldn't get the job done. And that, of course, Tiffany Abbott having to watch Aaron Albright lose his title as well this weekend. It wasn't the best weekend for her, but now she's trying to show what she's made of, because she hasn't really done that so far. She hasn't really come out and shown what she's capable of, but right now bringing it to Sandra Piper, who is struggling out the gate here. Beautiful slingshot crossbody, and yet look at this. Piper straight back to her feet, no worries at all. But look at this, Catherine Albright not backing down either. And of course we know, trying to think of some people that will be able to keep up. Leah Rose was a perfect example of someone who could keep up. She managed to get a 2 count, which until Bowen came along and beat Piper, was the best that anyone had ever done. Which says a lot about her when it's an achievement to keep her down for a count of 2. But then, of course, Hallie Bowen came along out of nowhere and managed to score a 3 count on Sandra Piper in a triple threat match for the Mayhem Women's Championship. That was the first time those two squared off. It then turned into a fatal 4-way match as they added Lulu Torres into the mix. And in that occasion, Bowen walked out the winner as well. But, of course, she didn't pin Piper on that occasion. And that is the justification for Piper getting what would be their 3rd match between each other, and resulting in Piper capturing back the Mayhem Women's Championship. And of course the general manager is looking for reasons not to give these two another matchup. But right now it's no question. Hallie Bowen and Sandra Piper are the 2 top women on Monday Night Mayhem. And it's up to the rest of the women's division to prove otherwise. Pile driver there. Beautiful sit-out pile driver by Tiffany Abbott. And now looking to fly. She's looked incredible so far in this match. And it can only get better from here. Up to the top she goes. Beautiful splash. 3 spins in the air. And Tiffany Abbott is rolling here. And Sandra Piper maybe still feeling the effects of the pay-per-view. But now she's struggling here to deal with Tiffany. What's she thinking? Oh, look at that. And I'm sure that hurts just as much no matter which gender you are. And into the cover. Has Tiffany Abbott actually beat Sandra Piper? No, she hasn't. 2.5 count. That was really close. Well, Tiffany Abbott bringing one hell of a contest here. And I don't think Piper was quite expecting this. But then again, this is exactly what she wanted. She wanted a challenge. She wanted someone to bring her a matchup that she would be able to live with and enjoy on Mayhem. And that's exactly what Tiffany Abbott has brought to the table. And of course, Sandra Piper is very much, can be argued that it hasn't been the best of months for her. She's had a few big losses over the last couple of weeks and months. And now feeling the effects of it here as she's getting beaten down by Tiffany Abbott. But we know with Sandra Piper, she can turn the tide of the match with a snap of her fingers. Because she's so powerful, so lethal. She can wrap it up whenever she chooses. Big suplex. And for Sandra Piper and Hallie Bowen, the 2 most dominant women on the division, of course, Bowen able to have a 2-3 month reign as the women's champion. As for Tiffany, hasn't been quite as good. Oh wait, look at this. Oh dear, Tiffany's in trouble. Straight jacket. This is what made Bowen tap out last weekend at the pay-per-view, and it's what makes Tiffany go tonight. 2 dominant is Sandra Piper, and another submission victory with the straight jacket. Really is not her go-to move, but she's managed to use it tonight to get the job done. Abbott put on one hell of a performance, and she really showed that she can stand up to Piper, but she just couldn't get the job done, which is the story with a lot of people. As of late, oh my god, Bowen! And it looks like Bowen, the one woman who has been able to keep this woman down, wants a piece of her, and these two have hated each other for a while now, and it's reaching boiling point between these two. They can't even be in the same arena as each other. Exploder suplex into the corner. And once again, Bowen delivers a message to Sandra Piper. And this time, these two will collide once again at the grand stage of Insomnia. Or 2 women with a pure hatred. 2 women in the top, the peak of their conditioning. 2 women ready to risk it all and put it all on the line on the grand stage of Insomnia for the Mayhem Women's Championship. The question is, who will come out on top? Who will be able to prosper above everybody else? We'll have to find out, but it is time to move on down the rest of the... Well, for the rest of the night, we have been informed it is all first round matches for the WIW Championship Tournament. After last night's crazy ending to Purgatory, King Sam relinquished the WIW Championship for a shot at Blake Austin at Insomnia. What a match that's going to be. You know that's going to be a true classic. And as the general manager made a point of pointing out earlier on tonight. Last time those two faced off for a championship, Blake Austin walked out the winner. But the question is, will that happen again? That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. Will he be able to walk out the winner? I don't know. But of course, the title was vacated as a sign of good faith for these two to begin negotiations for a match. And now, a tournament begins, and someone else who showed promising signs at the pay-per-view is Original Brad. He's made a lot of enemies in the crowd over the last couple of weeks, but I don't think he cares. He is in great form coming into this tournament, and you know what? I would put him up there as one of my favourites to go on and win this. He's been in phenomenal form. He's been nearly untouchable over the last couple of weeks, and he has proven with the blowing up of Robert Hall's bike, the theft and the vandalism and the assault on Robert Hall last night in Purgatory as well, that he is willing to do whatever it takes to walk out the winner. And that is why he's up there as my pick to go on and win this. But of course, he's got a tough opponent tonight. Someone who's regaining a little bit of form, couple of wins in a row now. It is Bomber. And of course, one of his most notable victories over the last couple of weeks was Rage, of all people, a former WIW champion, the first ever WIW champion, who will be in tonight's main event as the final roundup match for the first round. Well, not the roundup match, of course. We've still got plenty to go. 16 men, as the general manager announced on Twitter, that there will be in this tournament. And of course, if you're not following me on Twitter, be sure to go and do that at The Gaming Blake. And it's not just me, it's more of me and the general manager and the rest of the team that produces this show. Meanwhile, the first round continues. We've already seen Aaron Albright progress to the next round. Remember, this does not mean that the winner of this will be facing Albright in the next round. It just simply means that one of these two will progress to the next round, and Bomber gets off to a great start. Bomber has been very strong, very powerful, and you can see that he relies on that a little bit too much, and that's what's been causing him to fall down the pack, because he has nothing really to offer other than his strength. But other than that, yeah, he doesn't really provide anything that you're not going to see coming after a while, and that's exactly what people's problems, that's exactly what Bomber's problem has been. He hasn't been able to bring anything new to the table. Meanwhile, though, Original Brad very much also dependent on his strength for a while, but he's learning to adapt. He's becoming a better defensive fighter, as you just see there with the counter and into a DDT. He's doing very nicely, Brad. And of course, that huge, must-needed win against Robert Hall at Purgatory finally sets him up perfectly for the spotlight at Insomnia. Should he make it to the finals, he would be the second person ever to capture both World Championships. Of course, the first being King Sam, who has already held this title twice. And I'm sure Brad is sick of being in the shadow and being compared to King Sam, that is for sure. But it very much is a fact that anything that he can do, Brad wants to do as well, or at least better. And Brad has proven over the last couple of weeks and months that he is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that he does just that. But Bomber is off to an incredible start today, and it doesn't look like he's slowing down. That win over Rage last week has given him some confidence. It's given him some assurity that he actually can go on and pull off these big wins. And could you imagine for Bomber, who's had such a terrible Season 1, to go on and win the WIW Championship at Insomnia? What a huge victory that could turn out to be. Oh, Brad. Look at this. Is this really what Brad is going to resort to? Oh, Brad looking at trying to steal the count-out victory here in the first round. Oh, Brad has made it clear in the past that he'll do whatever it takes to win. Oh, but look at this now. Bomber. Bomber might be able to do the same. Brad's down. What's the count, ref? The referee back in the camera shot to count of 8, and I think Brad is going to get back in time. And look at this. Bomber daring him to get back in. And Brad tried to cheat his way through to the next round, and Bomber didn't let him. And Bomber stays in complete control. And oh, and the referee gets taken out there, and Bomber's momentum of the run-up. Not the fastest of runners there, as you see in that run-up, but Bomber in complete control. Brad is struggling. He spent the last couple of weeks learning to deal with submissionists, trying to learn how to defend them, trying to beat them. And now this week he's coming up against someone very much like him, very power-based, very strong, very athletic. But now Brad might be finally able to turn the tide in this match. Looking for old school. Bomber's in serious jeopardy here. There it is, connection with the old school. And now Brad thinking about putting this one away. Bomber's in trouble all of a sudden. No! Went for it. Went for the ending. He couldn't do it. Was looking for the battle axe and misses. But now a power bomb inbound by Bomber. Bomber might be ready to put Brad away. There's the power bomb. Power bomb and into the cover. Is that enough to put away Brad? No, it's not. 2 count from original Brad. And he's starting to find some more resiliency in him, Brad. Really starting to show his capabilities. Once again, of course, remember the first ever World Heavyweight Champion. And now he's fired up here tonight following that kick out. Wasn't able to land following the old school with the battle axe. But now look at this. Massive crash into the corner. And Brad now trying to fight his way back into this one after a very bad and slow start to this match. Big boot. And follows it through with a leg drop. Very nice combination there by original Brad. Brad picks him up back to his feet. Bomber now in a bad spot. Spinebuster. And Brad has just exploded to life here in this match. And now what's Brad thinking here? Trying to pick him up by the head. Well countered by Bomber. And Bomber just trying to try and steal it here. He's done a lot of damage. It could easily be enough. But Brad hasn't done it. And original Brad on the fight back hype. But Bomber trying to stay in control of a match that he has dominated since the opening bell. But now all of a sudden Brad with a new lease of life in this match. Oh, and Brad, look at this. Brad grabs him by the throat, looking for a choke slam. Got him up. Massive choke slam. Drags him away from the ropes. And original Brad advances in the... No! Not even a 2.5. A sharp 2 count. And he kicks out. Bomber's still going. Well, it was a very short first round matchup, but Bomber doing whatever it takes to make sure that it isn't an easy exit for him or for Brad. Both of these two putting on a classic here into the cover, looking to get rid of Brad, and he only gets a 1. And of course, Aaron Albright, as we saw earlier, beating Allen Hart in the very first match of the tournament. But now Bomber looking like he might pull off the upset here and eliminate original Brad. And now look at this in a chin lock here. We know Brad's weakness with submissions in the past has been very well documented. And he's struggling here to break the hold, as you can see. In a very bad place. Look at this. The submission. Brad might be forced to tap here. Got nowhere to go. Can't quite reach the rope. He has to fight out of it. And he does. And I feel like the crowd give him a little pop every time he does break out of a submission. Very nicely done there by original Brad. Big counter there by Bomber. And Bomber stays in control once again. Brad in a very bad way. Looking for a power slam. It's Bomber. Power slam. And into the cover, but Brad's under the rope. Brad does well there to hook the bottom rope. Stay in it, but Bomber. Boy, oh boy, what a performance has been from him tonight. He beat Rage the other week, and he looked impressive this week. Looking even more impressive. Brad is struggling to cope with the power of Bomber right now. And Bomber may be showing signs of life. And maybe he can go on, win this first round matchup, progress to the main event of... Well, not to the main event, but progress to Insomnia, where he could win his first world title. Or, potentially, if he doesn't win the tournament, if he gets knocked out in the later rounds, it's signs of improvement, signs of development, and signs that maybe Season 2 could be a much bigger, better year for Bomber. Brad trying to square him up for a spine buster there. Couldn't do it, and now Bomber trying to get him over for a suplex. And these two very much matched for power. And you can see that here tonight. Brad doing whatever he can do, whatever's necessary to get the job done. And again, trying to get that done here off the backbreaker. 2 count. And this is more like a tournament match for the first round of a championship. The most important championship in Mayhem. One of the tied most important in all of WIW. The WIW Championship misses with the double axe handle. Catches the arm though. And goes through into a DDT. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. And now look at this. Brad continues to mount the offense forward. He knows he can't give him a chance to get forward. Beautiful neck snap. Now wrenching away on the neck. This is very nice. stuff here from original Brad. He's progressed brilliantly here in this match after Bomber has had the majority control. He managed to fight his way back, but hasn't been able to land the battle axe to get the job done. Went for a chokeslam earlier, that couldn't get it done. But now, with the twist of the arm, Brad might be lining up towards the end, looking for old school again. Bomber's in serious jeopardy. He needs to find a way out. He can't though. Almost snapping the arm. And now Brad just going to go straight for the cover after that. Not going to waste any time here to get the job done on Bomber. No, it's 2.5. And Brad clearly needs to bring out the big guns to get this one done. And that's exactly what he's calling for now. Brad to progress to the next round. Battle axe. Right in the middle of the ring. And original Brad progresses to the next round of the... What? Bomber kicks out again. And look at Brad's face. He can't believe it. A kick out at 2 from Bomber, who is refusing to stay down, refusing to give up. This is a huge opportunity. And he knows it. And he doesn't want to waste it. Brad is in serious jeopardy now. Plays his biggest card, and yet Bomber's just kicking out still. Brad is in serious jeopardy. He can't afford to let him get back in control. And it's exactly what he's trying to avoid now. Up on the shoulders. Samoan drop. And Bomber not exactly a light man. And original Brad continues to taunt. He signals that the control has changed, that the tide has turned in this match. But it clearly still hasn't been enough. He needs to do something drastic here to get the job done. And could you imagine a first round upset here as the original Brad gets eliminated in the tournament? Although it's looking more like Bomber would be the upset loss at this point, because he's been fantastic in this one. Was trying to go for the powerbomb there. Brad managed to turn it into a neck breaker. His advances. Big elbows there by Bomber. Now can Bomber find an ending here? No, he can't. Big kick and a DDT through by original Brad, who is feeling it right now. He's feeling the momentum. Continues to taunt Bomber. He's feeling his chest though. He's feeling the effects. They both are. It's been a grueling first round contest. This one has lived up to the hype that you would expect it. Two true powerhouses going at it, proving that they are the best. Bomber goes straight back into the ring. Doesn't want to spend any more time on the outside. Trying to get Brad into that powerbomb position. He just can't do it. Brad's not letting him go. Down easy. There's another spine buster. And now look at this. Brad wants to make sure the ground and pound on the ground. Just doing whatever he can to get Bomber down. Bomber just doesn't want to stay down. And Brad still can't get him to stay still. Look at this. Lining up for a powerbomb again. Look at this. Powerbomb again. And into the cover. Is that enough to put away original Brad? No, it's not. Neither one of these two giving up. Bomber couldn't get him down for a count of 2. He finally connects with the second powerbomb, but Brad doesn't go down. What a contest this has been. And now look at this Brad once again going for another chokeslam. Connects. Gets him down with the chokeslam. Surely this is it. Surely Bomber's had enough. He can't kick out of any more. And original Brad advances in the tournament. Huge, huge win for original Brad, who continues what's been an impressive run of form for him over the last couple of weeks and months. Bomber, by far, even though he lost, and even though he beat Rage last week, by far the most impressive performance of that man's career to date. He's looked brilliantly in this match, and I can't believe in the end he walked out with that loss. But original Brad proving his point. He's ready. He's ready for anything. He's ready to prove what he can do. And that's exactly what he's done here tonight. A huge, huge win for original Brad. He is the second man to advance in the tournament. And he's got his eyes set on the title at Insomnia, the one title that he hasn't won, the one world title that he hasn't won, should I say. Looking to complete the set. That's exactly what he came over to this brand to do. And that was to get his hands on the other world title, become a world champion again. And it's been a long road back to the top for original Brad. But what a first round victory that was. He's still got a while to go though. We've started with 16, and it will come down to 8 other men. So he's still got a long way to go in this tournament before he gets to the finals at Insomnia. But promising signs for Brad as he continues to show no mercy to all of the opponents that stand in his way. Brad advances to the second round in what truly was a 5-star classic of a match. Let's move on down the rest of the card. The hero of wrestling has arrived. I've been in bad form the last couple of weeks, I'll admit. And as a result, I lost the WI title again to Albright. Congrats to him. As always, he proved he is a great fighter. But I'm not out here to wallow in my own self-pity. I'm here because of Blake and Sam. Finally, those two will compete in what will truly be a dream match. And that got me thinking. Dream matches are what pay-per-view is all about, especially the first ever Insomnia. So I'm out here tonight because I have a dream match in mind, and it will be a thing. The hero of wrestling is not entering the WIW Championship Tournament. For a long time, I thought that I needed that title to become the face of this company, as Austin said earlier. But I have seen with my own 2 eyes that that is not true. Nobody, not even Albright, has brought prestige to that title at all. And I thought that I could. I thought that I could be the first one, but I was wrong. But this brand does have a title with it, bundles of prestige. And the man holding it now, my very good friend, is bringing more prestige to it every single day. And that is exactly why I want that title around my waist. And that is why, Mason Foster, I want to face you at Insomnia for the WIW European Championship. The tournament continues here after a fantastic matchup between Original Brad and Bomber. A truly fantastic first round matchup, which is going to be hard to top. But the general manager has now brought out this. He's gone to Justice and he said, listen, I understand that the chances of you going to Insomnia for the tag titles are very slim. They've already lost 2 chances at the tag titles, remember? And so for Justice, they have been given a chance in this tournament. But the general manager's given them a catch, is that they have to face in the first round each other. That's right, tonight, for one night only, Bomber and Lachlan and A.D Nathaniel will face off one-on-one, and only one of them advances to the next round of the World Championship Tournament. The judge and the jury must face each other tonight. The team known as Justice, the team who have been on the same page for months now. They've been working together to become one of the most dominant forces in the tag team division. They just haven't been able to get their hands on the tag team gold that the League of Gods currently are holding. And now these two got a chance at the big one, the big prize of the WIW Championship, and to break in Season 2, a new era of Justice. And so tonight, everything must be put aside. They must put aside all of their differences, all of the potential risks of them collapsing, as they need to work together tonight. But next up, the judge is A.D Nathaniel is here. And these two know each other like the back of their hand. They've been fantastic teammates together. And they've worked together so well. But now tonight, they must put their tag team partnership aside for one night only, as these two collide for a chance for Insomnia to become the world champion. Look at this. Not even a handshake between the two. And of course, this was a kind of a twisted move by the general manager, but the general manager, Blake Austin, has made it very clear that he has no issue with doing this in the past. He's done it to the Wolfpack. He's done it to another team, I believe. Who else has he done it to? I can't even remember. Oh, Xander and Green at the sudden death. And if you remember, Kazari and Xander eliminating Patrick Green very early on in that Rumble match. So the general manager is no stranger to making teammates face off against each other. And it looks like Justice are the next on the list, but they need to remember to stay true to each other. They need to keep their bond growing, because they have been a fantastic tag team, one of the best teams on Mayhem by far. And they just haven't been able to get the better of the League of Gods. It's the one team they haven't been able to beat. But now tonight, they could usher in a new era for season number 2 if they take the World Championship for Mayhem and become the Mayhem's WIW champion. Remembering, of course, that these two, I'm sure, will probably be at each other's side, whoever advances. But it's clear from the get-go that these two are going to do whatever tactics necessary to get the job done. Remembering, of course, A.D Nathaniel, very much a brawlerish style, likes to go on the outside and just beat people up the old-fashioned way. That's the type of fighter he is. For for Lachlan, he can be that as well, and he has been since teaming with A.D Nathaniel. He's definitely brought that side out of him. But as we've seen in the past from Lachlan, likes to get the job done inside the ring, and he's taunting his partner right now, or playing to the crowd at least. It's been a fantastic night of first round action. Allen Hart kind of set the bar pretty low after getting eliminated in about 30 seconds by the former world champion, former 4-time world champion Aaron Albright. And now, of course, as he advances, we then saw Rage and Bomber try and lift up the prestige of the tournament. And they did just that with an incredible match. And we are seeing another classic between two people who are very evenly matched in skill set, mindset, and of course, ability. These two know each other like the back of their hands, and they both know that they will do whatever it takes to win. And that's what I'm saying. How strong is their bond? It's going to be tested here tonight. They've been on the same page ever since they formed this team. They knew exactly what the other was going to do, and when it was going to be done was looking for the justice kick. Misses. And now Nathaniel might be able to capitalize. Running Bulldog. And it's been an incredible matchup so far. These two really been taking it to the outside, trying to play to each other's strength. Massive spine buster. Very nicely done there by by Lachlan. And of course, goes by the nickname of Aussie Justice and connects with the Justice Kick. Justice Kick connects perfectly from Lachlan. And now might be ready to put his partner away. We know, of course, he has that ability to end it with that beautiful combination of strikes which follows through with the knockout knee. And he might be thinking of going for it here. A.D Nathaniel in trouble. There's the knee and another. And now there's an elbow. There it is. That final knockout knee. And is that enough, though, to keep A.D Nathaniel down? To knock him out of the tournament and progress to the next round? No, it's not. 2 count. And A.D Nathaniel survives for the moment. Continues in the stays in the tournament for now. And remember, of course, a win for one of them is a win for both. It's got to be said. Because oh, look at this. Hold on. Oh, I thought was going for roll in peace there. He didn't go for it. And now Nathaniel hyping himself up. He's sensing he's struggling a bit in this matchup. And of course, I'm sure as much as he'd love his partner to go on and win, I'm sure he'd prefer himself a lot more to go on and win, that is for sure. And now, huge clothesline by Nathaniel. We know he has that massive clothesline that could rip your head off to wrap up a match. But a series of clotheslines there to soften up the head of Lachlan. And I tell you what, you wouldn't think that these two were tag team partners the way that they were going at each other. Neither one of them backing down. 2 count there by Lachlan and on A.D Nathaniel. And the battle of the justice between the two, the judge and the jury, not taking it easy on each other at all. Putting each other through the ring, and there's that clothesline. Jesus Christ. Did you see the impact on that clothesline? But Lachlan not going to stay down long enough for the pin because the A.D Nathaniel brought him straight back up. He knows that's not going to be enough. And he wants to make sure that he gets the job done. A.D Nathaniel wearing the Justice logo on his shirt. The judge and the jury. And of course, with that lethal finisher that they have together, the Executioner, which has put away some of the best teams on this division. And tonight they've had to put their tag team aside with a shot at the glory of the biggest title in all of WYW, the WYW Championship. And into the cover goes Lachlan. Is this going to be enough to advance to the next round? 2 count. Very, very close there. And Lachlan been in the majority control. Nathaniel's fighting back, but Lachlan trying to make sure he stays in control the best he can. Into the corner. Not a good place to be for A.D Nathaniel. Now what's he thinking? Looking for what's he thinking here? Oh, and a stunner off the middle rope. Very nicely done. Lachlan with a lot more big match singles experience than A.D Nathaniel, has to be said. A.D Nathaniel was never a pay-per-view fighter back in his singles career. He picked up a couple of big victories, but never really advanced forward before meeting Lachlan, becoming a very successful tag team that we know them to be today. Lachlan, oh! Super kick! And did you see the ricochet? The bounce off the rope? That might be it. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to fight out of that. Lachlan advances. What a kick to knock A.D Nathaniel out of the tournament. Lachlan progresses to the next round. Main event and another tournament matchup. We've seen 3 already tonight. We saw Lachlan just a moment ago beating his tag team partner A.D Nathaniel. We also saw, to begin the show, Aaron Albright, the former 4-time WYW champion, progress in a matter of 30 seconds over a victory over Allen Hart. And by far what was the match of the night so far, Bomber versus Original Brad in what was a true powerhouse classic. But Original Brad managed to progress to the next round. But the next two down to the ring promises it to be another true powerhouse match, and the first man down to the ring who is in desperate need of these wins, that is Rage, the first ever WYW champion, the 7-foot monster. That is Rage, has been so dominant since so dominant in WYW, left to pursue other brands, other career options, but he has come back now. He made his appearance back in the Royal Rumble match and couldn't go on to win it. Then, of course, has come back to a series of losses, which have been, to be honest, big upset losses, because they're not losses you'd think that this former world champion would be suffering from. But unfortunately, that's exactly the fate that he had suffered from. And so, tonight, he takes on a huge powerhouse in the first round of the tournament with a chance to advance to the next round. And could Rage find his way back to become a 2-time WYW champion? He's going to need to start picking up some wins. But tonight, the general manager is not taking it easy on him, as he has given him the tough task of Dicson. Dicson, who has, of course, just recently suffered a loss at Purgatory for the European Championship with Mason Foster, in what was a truly classic matchup between the two. And they battle it out tonight, Rage and Dicson, for the first round of the tournament. But only one of them can advance through to the next round. We've seen 3 people advance so far, but yet we have one more match for you tonight. It's been a great night of WYW action. We remember we're just 6 shows away-ish from Insomnia, which is going to be the big one. And of course, the vacant WYW Championship will be on the line. It's just a matter of which one of the two will be able to grab it. Bell rings and away we go, and look at Dicson straight out the gate there with a massive DDT. And Dicson, of course, I'm sure frustration still looming over his loss to the European Championship at the last pay-per-view, that is Purgatory. And that was his big opportunity, his big chance to break it through. And he couldn't do it. And now look at the strikes coming in by Rage. And Rage is taking him a little while to readjust to life here on Monday Night Mayhem. Of course, the first ever world champion. One third in the end of the tag team that was the Dragon Dynasty. He definitely made his mark the first time round here on Monday Night Mayhem. But since coming back, he hasn't been able to do the same. It hasn't been the same, and that's a lot what happens with a lot of people. They seem to think, you know, that on one brand, that they can be there, they can be dominant, they can go to other shows and they can explore. And then when they come back, they realize that it isn't the same because more people are coming in, more tough competitors have come in, and of course, Rage meeting a lot of these people for the very first time. And right now being matched for power with the beast that is Dicson. And although Dicson lost via submission, Mason Foster had to do a lot of damage, do a lot to keep that man down. It took the Welsh Dragon Sleeper to keep him down for good. And Rage might find out the same here tonight, because Dicson is no slouch. And this could be Dixon's last chance to actually make it to Insomnia. Rope break there on the count. And for Rage, will he be able to find a way to Insomnia after the start he's been off to? No, I don't think so. I don't see anything on the cards for Rage, which is why he needs this tournament victory just as much as Dicson does. But look at Dicson, what a start it's been. Clothesline. And into the cover now. Is that enough to advance to the second round of the tournament? Sharp kick out at 2. Dixon's face says it all. He might need to go for that, the rack attack. If he can get it. He's trying to get the big man up to do it. Is the big man going to be able to escape? It doesn't look like it. Big slam down. Right on the top of the skull. And what a performance it's been by Dicson. Has he advanced to the next round? No, he hasn't. Rage kicks out at 2. I didn't think he'd go down that easy, but what a start by Dicson. And that's exactly the similar start that he got off to last night at Purgatory. But he just hasn't been able to recalibrate and get the victory here just yet. But what a start it's been. Rage now needs to mount some offense. And this has been Rage's biggest problem. Rage used to taking some heavy hits in the past, but hasn't been able to come back and show his dominance like he did in the past. And now some clotheslines, finally starting to mount some offense. Very nice power slam. But now what can he do? Can he start to deliver some big hits? There we go. And the momentum shifting back. Now thinking of ending this one here. Rage ready to end it. What's he got in store? Looking for a power bomb. Arcing him up. What's he thinking here? Oh no, well countered by Dicson. Dicson not going down without a fight. Looking for the rack attack again. Gets him up and drills him down onto the apron. Dicson gets him down. And surely this time out for the count. Dicson advances. Rage embarrassed again here tonight by the sheer power of Dicson. What a huge victory tonight. The first rack attack couldn't do it, but the second one gets the job done. Rage just really didn't even turn up to this match. He really was letting himself down as his third loss in a row now, and it would be 4 if you don't count the Royal Rumble. Rage has clearly not come back with a winning mindset and a winning mentality. That is to say the very least. But Dicson puts on a main event performance here tonight. And he wasn't able to capture the European Championship just a night ago. But now, after this huge win, can he carry this momentum in the WIW Championship Tournament and find his way to Insomnia for the WIW Championship? That is going to wrap up tonight's show. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like if you did. Comment your thoughts and feelings on tonight's show. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.